Cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
Still I rise, no matter what may come my way. Not built to break, I stand strong each and every day.
You're listening to Still I Rise Tea Party with Tarsha T. Rodgers, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the Still I Rise Tea Party. I am your host, Miss Tarsha T. Rodgers, and I have special guests with me tonight. I have my friend from the womb to the tomb. I've known her since before we even knew we existed. Miss Jamie Lee Christian, and I have her husband, Mr. Andre Christian, and they're here so we can have part 2 of our conversation about love and marriage. So welcome, Jamie and Andre. I'm glad to have you guys.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
Wonderful. So let's start off talking a little bit about your Facebook group, Grow Your Marriage, and kind of what you're doing, and tell us a little bit about your profession, Jamie.
Okay, I'm an associate marriage and family therapist, and my husband and I decided to start a group.
Okay.
It initially started with friends, and we thought that we'd just kind of open it up to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have about 68 members so far.
Okay.
Yeah, 68 members online. And we meet every second Saturday of the month.
Okay.
And I think we are on meeting number 3. We've met twice, and we're on meeting number 3.
Okay. Well, what are some of the things that you do at your meetings?
We discuss, it's kind of open dialogue.
Okay.
Right now we're talking about the 5 love languages,
Okay.
which is very important to marriages and relationships. The last meeting that we had was kind of open dialogue. We had the Rodgers with us.
Yes.
And one thing about this group, if one partner doesn't come, it's not a group.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other partner is not going to show up.
Well, yeah.
Unlike your traditional groups, they're just individualized.
Mm-hmm.
This is not.
Gotcha.
So our last meeting, we only had one couple because everything came up with other people, so we had one couple. Our previous group, we had 4 couples.
Okay.
It was 4, yeah. So we're hoping to have more and more coming up.
Okay.
And just one thing I want to say, and I keep on trying to emphasize this, I want it to be non-traditional.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you have groups and it's like you're going through the regular thing, and we want this to just kind of be open dialogue and talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And don't be scared, don't hold back.
Yeah. Well, I know when Keith and I had the pleasure of being at your last group meeting, we had a good conversation, good open conversation, honest. I know part of that is because we're comfortable with each other.
Right.
But yeah, it was a real change because I have been in some previous groups, and it's like, do I really want to share with these people?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel very comfortable that I could share pretty much anything with you guys.
Where was your experience at the other groups?
Kind of everybody's fake. It's like, don't act like your marriage is nobody's marriage is perfect. And,
Right.
I try to tell people, I know they see me and Keith, we joke a lot on Facebook, and, we're, Valentine's, birthdays, anniversary, we lovey-dovey or whatever, but we're pretty transparent, and, we do have some knockdowns, not like we did when we were younger, but we argue, just like any other married couple. We have disagreements, and, we have times, I make him mad, and he may not talk to me the rest of the day, and vice versa. It's marriage.
Right.
And, it's just 2 people trying to be happy, love each other, and they're going to deal with their differences.
Mm-hmm.
So I never want to come across as being perfect, but I've been in some groups where people are just like acting like, they just fell from heaven, and it's like, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Because how are you going to grow? How are you going to, if there's things that need to be healed, how are you going to heal them if you're being fake?
Right.
Exactly. And then when you people like us, me, I'm going to speak for myself from the streets, and you go by energies.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that energy can change all the dynamics. That's what's going on.
Yes.
And we was actually talking about that. I don't know if that was today or yesterday. And we was talking about just certain couples that we don't mind really being around because whether they're going through their own personal something, you just could tell us the energy there, don't like, and women, because I said I wasn't going to say too much on here because I know how when you women get together, get to going. But anyway, go, but and sometimes you can feel them energies, and then some people just be yourself. You're not being judged. You
Right.
just kind of can go in with it,
Right.
and it make a difference.
Yeah.
Especially when somebody going through something, because you know how they say hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
So if you going through something, you mad because they having fun, and they're dealing with the way they want to, then here you come,
Yeah.
with that negative energy.
Yeah.
Then they go home arguing off, feeding off of your negative energy that you
Exactly.
didn't put in the air.
Exactly. So I asked a question today on Facebook a little bit before I got here. And the question was, if you every year do both a girls' trip or a boys' trip and a trip with your spouse, and now here we come this year, and let's just say, oh, you got a kid that's about to graduate high school, so you got prom and you got senior pictures and all the stuff that goes with that. And then maybe you have your dog needs hip surgery and your house needs to be painted, this going on, that's going on. So you can only do one trip this year. Is it going to be that girls trip or that boys trip, or is it going to be that trip with your spouse?
This is so easy for us. When we first got married, Andre said, I know you used to go to your girls groups with your friends every year, but we're getting married and there's some things I want to do with you. So that's going to have to stop. So since we've been married, I have not gone on a girls group trip or whatever, but
Oh, like the New Orleans?
yeah,
Gotcha.
well, actually, I'm going to New Orleans next month.
Okay.
And it was really hard to persuade him to let me go.
She thinks she going.
Uh-oh.
We already have our
No.
tickets.
Uh-oh.
We already have our tickets. We already have our tickets. It was so hard. But prior to me asking him if I could go on a trip, I had a very, very bad experience at my previous job.
Okay.
Very, very bad. For 6 months, I used to come home crying. I was doing work at home. My hair fell out. It was just awful.
Okay.
So he was like, I know you need this trip, so I'm going to let you go. It's for 4 days, but then that's it.
Yeah.
So our answer would definitely be, we're going to give up the boy and girl trip, and we're going to go together.
I think, it's important because,
I agree.
yeah, if it comes down to a choice between a trip with my spouse and a trip with my girls, or even a trip with my family, maybe my mom and dad and sister or whatever, I'm going to have to choose my spouse because, that quality time is important, that the two become one. And so you can't put anybody or anything else above that. And, I remember when the first part of me and Keith's marriage where we had issues, there was a trip that he did every year where I think he went to Bayou Classic for the Southern and Grambling game. And, I used to complain like, well, where are you and I going? And it needs to be more than just a drive to Vegas. Vegas is not a vacation for me. That's just whatever. And, it caused a problem. So then he stopped doing that. And, so our trips are focused. If we can't get at least one Keith and Tasha trip in, then all the other trips are kind of gone by the wayside. And husband, if you want to call in, the number is 323-203-0815. You can just go right ahead and call in if you got something to say. But yeah, we can't. You can't put other things before marriage. And now I think a girl's trip is cool.
I think it's important.
It is important.
It's
Important.
healthy.
It is very healthy. But if it comes down to a choice, then I'm going to always choose my spouse.
Of course.
I'm never going to choose a girl's trip or anything like that over my spouse. But I kind of got that question after looking at something in a group where they're like, well, would you do a girl's trip? Would your spouse get mad? And I said, well, I'm going to take it to another level. What if it comes down to a choice between a girl's trip and going somewhere with your spouse? So, just some people just need to realize to become one. And sometimes, with outside influences and you have these single friends, they don't get it.
Of course.
And that was the number one piece of advice I gave my younger sister is, don't listen to your single friends because your single friends going to get you in trouble. Your single friends they'll cause you to be single
of
again.
Of course.
So you got issues, you go to your spouse, you go talk to your spouse. Don't mean, oh, girl, you can come hang with us. Don't listen to them because you're going to end up like them.
Of course.
Because they don't understand. The two become one.
And you will lose friends.
Absolutely.
Trust me. I lost the fake friends. I lost the friends I thought were my friends.
Okay.
Once I got married. I mean, they just change. You know who they are because they don't like nothing on Facebook that you post. Not one thing. Nothing. and they talk
Oh, my
about you, and you
goodness.
wind up you find out what they've said about you.
Yeah.
They will sit at your wedding and talk right about you.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So you find out who those friends are.
Yeah.
And see, we even talked about that a little bit. I mean, we have all kind of dialogues. I'm pretty sure everything you say, we're going to talk about it one way or another. But even with that social media and things like that, I tell her all the time, when you see stuff, don't
Yeah.
see stuff, don't let that change your day.
Right.
You know, because
Right.
you have people that's miserable.
Yes.
I mean, we know people personally that's miserable.
Yes.
But if you looked at Facebook, you would think they had millions and millions of dollars in the bank doing
Right.
what they want to do.
Right.
So now what we think about is what's your overall purpose of posting that?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
goes back to hurt people.
Right.
Because it's definitely not the truth.
Yes.
Because we know you personally.
Yes.
But
Yes.
we're seeing something different on there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now what that do, it causes problems within a home. When a person put that out there, oh, look, such and such did this. Ooh, they said this. Look how they doing this.
Right.
That's not really their story. So now you got an argument going on and different people that get into social media. So you
Yes.
have to really look at social media as entertainment
Absolutely.
and assess
And
every
just take it with a grain of salt.
exactly
Yeah.
because
And I say the same thing about people that get upset. Oh, they didn't like my post. Oh, so okay, so what? Who
Yeah,
cares?
exactly.
That's why I like Twitter, because there's no pressure. You tweet something and it's out there and it's like whatever.
Oh.
Maybe there's somebody will see it, maybe they won't.
Yeah.
But there's not that pressure for the likes. Sometimes we get caught up in, okay, well, this person didn't like it or nobody liked my post. Oh, okay, keep it pushing. So what? I'm sure they
Yeah.
saw it. So, just and if they didn't see it, it's okay.
exactly
okay.
and then that lets you know it just be some kind of attack because they're not liking your post, they're your friend, they're your family or whatever, but then they gonna write a big long paragraph about how a potato
Right.
grow in Kansas.
Yeah.
So just tell you some
Yes.
subliminal
Yes,
stuff if
exactly.
you let it get you.
Exactly.
We discussed a post that I read yesterday on the marriage. I think this is the marriage group. Is it the marriage group?
Which one?
Online on
That
Facebook.
Facebook group is like got like 10,000 people in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So one of the questions was, if your husband didn't post your pictures or he didn't like your comments on Facebook, how would you feel?
Okay.
So I took it to my husband and I said, what was your response?
Yeah.
We're on Facebook together, and my face is all over his page. His face is all over my page. So it was different comments. Some of the comments were, "Oh, girl, he cheating," and some was, what were the other comments I was reading?
Which one
to
you talking about? The one where it say no
yesterday.
pictures of him with the spouse?
There's no
on there?
pictures of the spouse of the wife on his page.
Oh.
Not one picture. There's no children.
Oh, that's your phone.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
There's no pictures of the children. She sees where he likes other women's comments.
Okay.
But he doesn't like any of her comments. He doesn't say Happy Valentine's Day to her on Facebook, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. And I told my husband, I said, I don't care about the Valentine's Day or the Happy New Year and all of that because we
Yeah.
wake up together.
Yeah. Right. Right.
I don't see the significance in it.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
but people do it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't care if he did or he didn't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like you're repeating yourself. Or
Right.
now you're entertaining Facebook.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
entertaining me because
Right.
you've already told me Happy New
Right,
Year,
right.
Happy Valentine's
Yeah.
Day,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday. You've already
Yeah.
told me that when we
Right.
wake up in that morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And what we talked about that right there, because you never know the situation, just like when it comes to holidays and certain things, we still do things together because, I know how she was raised up, and as you start getting off into history and you start finding out things, you don't look at a lot of things
Exactly.
the same. So I still do it, but then and that's just for her a lot of things.
Yeah.
But somebody on the outside looking in would say, oh, he didn't do this. Or
Right.
he didn't do this. Why
Right.
he didn't? But you're not knowing the story.
Right.
You're not knowing that I know my history, and she understands as everybody else understands. You just don't.
Yeah.
But it'd be a way the person to put it out there negatively.
Right.
With the
Right,
negativity. But
right.
I still celebrate because I know I'm going to have to fight if I don't get no Christmas gift. But anyway, I do that. But she know how I feel. Because even my
Exactly,
mother sometimes, she
exactly.
say, I know you really don't be, this and that, because everybody know me. Once I
Right.
start studying the history, I look at stuff a lot different,
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
But I
That
still
makes
can't
sense.
have my wife mad at me because
Right.
that ain't how she came up. She
Right.
haven't read that book.
That makes a lot of sense. I know me and Keith do it, and I guess maybe it's from habit because we've always done it. So probably if I didn't do it now, I'm sure he would be like, oh, you
what's
didn't
up
say-
with that?
What's up with that? And and vice versa.
Right.
And I think part of, I don't know, for us, because of the fact that we separated and then got back together, we wanted it to be clear we are very much together, and we don't want any outside influences trying to come in. And they do come. There will be women that'll try to get all up in the inbox, and there will be men that try to get all up in the inbox. So we're very, back and forth with each other to almost, it's natural because that's how we banter back and forth. But it's also, he lets you know this one's mine. I'm letting you know this one's mine, and so that there's no issues. And I guess because we're used to it, I guess if one of us were to stop doing it, it probably would be some type of issue like, oh, you didn't even say happy birthday to me today or whatever. But yeah, he did already kind of tell me that morning. In fact, he'll probably keep me up till midnight. Like, okay, it's your birthday. You got to stay up. All that kind of silly stuff. But I don't know. I might feel some type of way if he didn't. I don't know. But I think if the couple both are okay with that, and maybe she's
not okay with it. Oh, that was her problem. She said she's not okay with it.
Really?
Yeah. And like, for instance, my husband, he comments all the time on every post. Okay. Whatever I post, he's going to comment.
Yeah, I see him.
But I don't comment on yours at all. It's very seldomly, right?
That's why we was fighting last week, right?
You lie.
No.
I very seldomly, I'll like the post, but I don't necessarily make a comment.
Okay.
Not at all.
And then sometimes with me, like if I do it and I don't do a long thing, and I probably shouldn't say this, they might give me a ticket when I walk outside. But I'll be looking at Facebook sometimes and hitting the like and driving at the same time, so I don't get a chance to do all that. So it's not like I'm sitting still because I'm doing it in between, whether I'm at work, going here, in between, because I'm not one of the ones that just sit up on Facebook and looking at everybody post. So then the drive in between, that's when I might get a chance to,
And he does most of the tagging. Very seldomly do I tag.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess it's all about what works for each individual marriage. Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say about the trips, because when we first got together and we was talking about those trips, because I think that last trip, had you really paid for it already? Or you just wanted to go?
No, I paid for it already.
No, I'm just kidding. Not this. But anyway, so we talked about that. No, we was talking about that, and I was like, because why would we be wanting to go somewhere else with the fellas? Just like me say, I want to go somewhere with the fellas and you stay here.
Right.
I mean, I just didn't fit. She didn't either.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it was just one-sided where I just said, no, you can't go on the trips no more. She did travel more than I did because I didn't do a whole lot of traveling and stuff. I was kind of local. But still, it's like, why wouldn't we go together? Because it makes you start thinking like, okay, I love you, you love me.
Right.
We can go enjoy this experience together. So why can't, something like that. So we both agreed to it, really.
Yeah. And then I travel with him sometimes on his work events. Yeah. Like he's going to Chicago next month, and he was like, come with me. I'm like, no, you just hang out with the fellas.
Yeah.
Just
I
do that by yourself.
Really get her accustomed to that one right there. Now, that was a fight right there because with my job, and then, I get upset. I say, well, why don't you go talk to my job? Because I work with the Urban Peace Institute, Connie Rice and Susan Lee. And so a lot of times they would wait like to the last minute, and they would hit me and say, we're going out to Chicago next week, or we're going here, this and that. And then say, why they don't tell you like a month or two? I don't know, baby. They just been the program. It ain't like it just started.
No, because he's been single for so many years. And I said, you have to speak up. You're married now. You just can't, they snap their finger and you say, oh, okay, just let me pack my bag. You can't do that anymore.
Right.
Before he could do it for all those years.
And I don't do that. I still ask you, but you stay what takes so long.
If I heard him last week or 2 weeks ago when his supervisor called him, he said, we're going to have to take a trip to Chicago. And he said he was repeating, he paraphrased everything.
Yeah, like, here we go. It's like more or less like, I'm just getting news, but hey.
Itinerary.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like you hearing it like me. Because a lot of times when I hear it and we're not together, I'm at work or something, then I tell her about it. I was like, well, dang, well, they just let me know. How can I let you know before I knew or they knew, and jump up like that, So that's why we sitting there riding. And I was kind of glad because it's like, you see the call just came in. He said, we're going to Chicago. Could you give me an exact date? But then he hit me with, the plane ticket and stuff like that. We got an exact date, but I knew it was coming up soon sometime next month.
No, but he's so humble. And I just say, okay, you're married now. You have to put your foot down and say, well, it's two of us now.
Yeah.
My wife just wants some advance notice.
Yeah.
That's just anybody.
Yeah.
Any job.
What do you guys think about somebody that maybe it's a single friend that maybe you knew before and they invite you to an event but then don't invite her? What do you think about situations like that?
I'm not going to go.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get the invites more than him.
Okay.
And he's very adamant about it. I'm bringing my wife.
Yes.
He doesn't care if the invite was for both or not.
Right.
He brings me to
Yeah,
his job
yeah,
events.
yeah.
And he doesn't really get hit too much with that. I get it.
Okay.
So there's some
Okay.
things I don't eat. Some places I don't go
Wow.
because they don't.
Wow.
They just
But I get again that it's that mindset of not understanding two become one.
Right,
So
right.
you shouldn't. My mom and dad, you are not going to see one
Right.
without the other.
Right.
And definitely, me and Keith have kind of become the same way. It's like we're a package deal now. It's a lot of things he may go to that I'm just not interested in. So
like where he's coming to our picnic.
be
next
quiet.
Month. We'll see you next month, Keith.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely
like,
gonna be there.
I'll let him go on and do his thing, and vice versa. There's some things I may go to that he's not interested in, and it's like, okay, babe, go on and do your thing. But if it's like a big event or somebody's wedding or something like that, and it's like, because he was invited to something and it was just for him, and he called. He's like, normally I'm not forward like this, but my wife can't come, and they were like,
Right.
oh no, absolutely, we just didn't know, and it's like, yeah, but you don't send an invitation to one and don't include the other. You just don't do
Absolutely.
that, because again, I'm gonna say it again, the two are one. So
And see, and that's kind of like you say, it's kind of automatic, because just like some of her friends or somebody, she feel like in the workplace or something, and we would always have a conversation, because I don't want to come aggressive toward nobody. I let me know what kind of people these are, and
Right.
I deal with them
yes,
like that,
yes,
because I'm
Yes.
real versatile.
right,
So you tell me, okay, okay, I'm gonna go on with that. If they strict, I can fit into any category, but
Yeah.
let me know. I'm like a chameleon when it comes
Okay.
to that.
Mhm.
And just
Okay.
let me know,
Yeah.
because I don't want your friends looking at you bad or wrong. So I do this right here,
Okay.
for you. But I know what to do if it's turn all bad. But
Right.
just don't respect, because
Right.
you know them and how they are. And then usually when she tell me how somebody is, that's pretty much
yeah,
how
how they
just
are.
like her, when I go around certain people, and I tell her all the time, if I don't introduce you or just this and
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
or just this and
Yeah.
don't dialogue, I tell her about it after we leave from that person. But if I introduce and this and that, I usually tell her right what that person is about right then and there.
Okay.
And if she know if I don't elaborate or go
Yeah.
in,
There's
okay,
a reason behind it.
yeah,
Now,
we'll talk about
Yeah,
it. It's not like
exactly.
you're going to hear about it. We're going to talk about it as soon as we walk away. We're going to start talking about it.
Exactly.
And that's why, bad energies,
Yeah.
negativity.
Yeah.
And I just try to stay away from as much negative
I hear you.
as
I
as
hear
I
you.
can.
That's what I do a lot of times on Facebook. I'll get on Facebook and it's like just one negative post after another. And it's like, I just want to throw some Prozac at you. This is not that serious. Calm down. And then you see people that every post, they done fell out with somebody. And it's like, well, at what point do you realize it's you? You fall out with everybody. It's not everybody else. It's got to be you. And it's like, okay, let me go to my pages and read the news or whatever, because sometimes the news is less depressing than some of the Facebook
Right,
posts. It's like, you're taking life a little bit too seriously, and taking Facebook too seriously. It's not that
And
serious.
something, you have the Facebook, what do we call them? Police?
Yeah.
Facebook police, the ones that you have to be politically correct.
Yes. Or here they come.
Here they come. I guess they have a degree in English.
Yes. Yes.
They're
yes.
always correcting you.
Right. Yeah. It's like, cut it out.
Yeah.
Cut it
yeah,
out. Or
too
always
much.
criticizing and complaining. It's like, I just can't. That's too much negative energy. And I guess I'm at a point in my life, especially with some of the things I've gone through, I can't deal with all that negative
That's
energy.
me.
I don't even want it near me. I don't want to be a part of it. So the minute it even looks like, let me keep scrolling. I don't want to see that. I'm just going to keep it pushing, keep it moving. But kind of back to how it ties into marriage, you got to be careful. And that was one thing. I was on Facebook first, and I started Keith's page. I had the password, I set it up and all that stuff. And it was funny because as soon as I did, here come the exes or whatever. And so I let him deal with it. I didn't say anything, but they ended up getting deleted and blocked. But it's like, that was something we got an understanding. Nobody's friends with nobody's ex on Facebook. And, we don't do the inbox where you can be inboxing him saying all kind of stuff. And you definitely cannot inbox me saying all kind of stuff. I got one person right now. I don't know if he's watching this or what. He's close to getting deleted off my page, period.
Wow.
But, he'll send an Happy Valentine's Day. You could have said that on my page. Why are you inboxing me talking about some Happy Valentine's Day? Get out of here with that. I'm not with all that. So, you got to establish some boundaries. But to what you were saying about your friend, if she's upset about it, I don't know. Has she tried to have a conversation to let her husband know, I'm feeling some kind of way? And what's
That's what
his
people-
response?
We don't know because that was on the post. That was on the marriage group.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And a lot of, it was interesting because a lot of women came forward and said, I'm not friends with my husband on Facebook.
Ooh.
And I thought that would be a problem in itself.
Mm.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Why not?
Yes. That is a problem.
Yeah,
And see,
definitely.
and really, when I got Facebook, because she used to talk about that, I was like, no, because we had somebody with my car club, and they had a Facebook page. So he was getting ready to leave the club. I can kind of feel it going there, and I wasn't really into Facebook, MySpace, or none of that kind of stuff right there.
Right.
So then, just to keep it going, because that was still promoting the car club, and then I had it up under Watch Life.
Okay.
Now, it was a car club page. It wasn't a personal page. Then afterwards, they shut it down and said I had to put my real name to it and X, Y, and Z. So mine didn't start off being my Facebook page. It was a car club page.
Okay.
Even though we put our personal stuff on there, but it really was about the cars, the low riding scene, and X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
And I just kept that page and never set another one up.
Gotcha.
But I used to tell her I'm not into that like that because I didn't even know how to work it. I just had that club members how to do this, how to post this, and this and that.
Right.
But just promoting the club.
Yeah.
And then through that, we just started posting our own stuff. It's like, well, I go set up another page.
Exactly.
And I already got this one going. So
And then you have to watch that. You have to watch their friend request.
Yes.
I remember a few guys had requested me on Facebook. So I'm scrolling down, looking at who their friends are. That's the first thing I do. And I noticed that we
Same
have
here.
a lot of mutual friends that's in the car club scene and lowrider scene. And so I asked him, I said, hey, do you know such and such? He was like, yeah, I kind of know. Well, he's not your friend on Facebook. So I'm wondering, well, I don't even know the person. Most of the people I don't even know out there in the lowrider world unless it's his car club.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, why would they request me as a friend and you're not even their friend on Facebook?
Right.
So that was
What's up-
suspicious.
yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of guys. Yeah.
And I tell her all the time, even we on the scene or somewhere, and you might get some guys looking or staring and stuff. Did you see? I said, yeah, I saw. It's like, long as they don't get disrespectful.
Right,
I say, men gonna be men at the end of the day.
Right. You
know?
sound like Keith.
Yeah,
It's
some of them
so
don't know how to
disrespectful
glance.
though. The minute he turned his head or something, or they'll hold shake my hand a little too long. Just yesterday, we were one of his friends.
But see, when they
he was
do,
looking too.
but when they do certain stuff, it's like if you get disrespect, I know what to do with that right there.
Right.
So you're gonna try that.
Right.
I mean, in certain nationalities, gonna be laugh about that too. They don't know no better, right? Just let them go.
Exactly.
Just let it go and just keep on going because I mean, she do the same thing. If she sees somebody on me and they doing too much, she gonna make her little sarcastic.
Oh, I have
comments.
jokes. If
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
somewhere, I'll say, "Oh, Grandma was just really on you," or "Oh, she was hurting herself." But we have our little jokes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't
right.
get mad. We just
Right.
have
Well,
fun
I know
with
when
it.
we go to Vegas, Keith, like if we're walking down Fremont Street, Keith will stay way back and just kind of watch to see how many guys is
Oh, my
checking me
goodness.
out or whatever. I'm like, you have serious problems. And then if they start pushing up, I'm looking like, okay, help.
Oh yeah, he's been a little. We were in a grocery store once, and he was a little mean to somebody and said he just can't help himself. And I think he felt like the guy was looking at my breast or something.
Which one are you talking about? We done been in a few meat stores and you was acting up. No, the meat cutter. You
It
know
was
the
the
meat
meat
cutter?
cutter.
Yeah.
was
I can't remember how it happened. You know better than me.
He was upset with him.
Wow.
Yeah, because he know we was together. I can't remember what he did. He did something.
He was talking to me, and then I think he looked at you and said, "Oh, you need help." And you said, "Oh, you couldn't tell we was together, huh?"
Oh, yeah, something
was
like that. Yeah, he was doing something too much. Yeah, because we always hold hands. We feel lost if we're not holding hands in the ball. And even with that right there, because I was going to bring that up too, because a lot of times people see us holding hands being together. You have people come make the say something like, everybody know that sugar, right? Well, everybody know y'all ain't got this is just us. We're not trying to impress.
Exactly.
And
But
that's
some
the
people
number
really
one
feel
love
Exactly.
language is physical touch.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
number one
Exactly.
love language.
Exactly.
It's physical touch.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
was talking about that the other day when we was at the get together the other day when we was the candle and the cake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when we was over, we was going to cut the cake. So as we standing there,
At
and stuff,
Tezra's house.
Okay.
as we standing there, and then Keith was
Keith
right
was
here,
right behind me, and he
then
was
right
behind
here,
Keith.
and then
Okay.
just usually with stuff like that, we right
I kinda looked
by each
like-
other, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't feel lost.
Yeah.
You know, Keith right there, like, I need to be over there because we so used to.
But we didn't
you
want
know,
to say "Moo, Keith."
Yeah,
right?
we thought
We
that
just
was over
Oh,
there.
that's so
and,
cute.
and it
we
do.
just looked at each other.
I mean, we could be mad at each other, not even talking to each other, but still, come
we gonna
on.
hold hands.
Yeah, come on. You know what I'm saying?
That's so
And not
sweet.
saying that. And
I
so
love it.
definitely touch for them love language.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
us,
Like-
you know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
love
saying?
it. I love it.
Physical touch is definitely one for me. That's my number one.
Yeah.
And receiving gifts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are my two
Acts
top.
of service.
Acts of service. Oh my goodness. This man does all the cooking.
Mm.
I cook when I want to cook.
Same here.
He
Same
does
here.
all the cooking.
And it's so bad when
and
when
then
she
he'll
cooks
wash
it-
the dishes behind himself.
Wow.
when she cooked 1 or 2 times here and there, she feel like I done did her wrong. Oh, you ain't even been cooking. You cooked 2 times.
And I know, and I know for him, one of his love languages is quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely quality time. And let's see, what's your other one? Quality time.
This one right here.
Physical touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Physical touch.
Well,
And it's
definitely.
important for you to know your spouse's love language.
Yes.
That's the key to it.
Yeah.
That's the key
Yeah.
to successful marriages.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly. And then sometimes you got to ask them, what do they want? What do they like?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like you talking to a kid and anybody else, you know, we take it for granted what they want,
Yes.
what they like. And
Yes.
you never even ask
Exactly.
me
Right.
if I like that.
Exactly.
You know, just like I know we can't never go to the mountains nowhere because she don't like heights.
Right.
I think I'm
right.
sneaking trying to do something romantic.
Yeah, I would definitely
It's
would
not
never
gonna
ask
work.
Keith, though, come on, let's go to Magic Mountain, because that would just
Oh,
be that would be a
right.
wasted trip because he doesn't like the roller coasters and
Well,
I do.
I
so,
think
yeah.
we can go to Disneyland together and
Yeah.
we can go riding
Mhm.
and they can just
Yeah.
kind of
It would definitely
purses.
it would definitely have to be a group thing if we did something like a Magic Mountain. It could never be, oh, come on, Keith, let's go to Magic Mountain. He would look at me like I was crazy. Like, you know, I don't ride nothing, so what am I going
Yeah,
for?
he's
No,
not.
she tried to be funny because we went to Disneyland. She had been in a while, so I said go to Disneyland. So I know I used to love the Space Mountain roller coaster. I like fast roller
Yes,
coasters.
me too. Me too.
So when I get on a roller coaster now, it's not the same.
It was last year.
Okay.
He was disoriented. We walked off the
Really?
ride, and
She
he was
put-
like, "Hey, wait, let me just sit down for a second." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, let me check you out, make sure everything was
Oh, my
okay."
No, she put the extras on it. No, I did feel like it feel like when you eat and get on a
Mhm.
roller coaster, it had that
Mhm.
type of feeling.
Yeah.
But it stayed with me for a long time, and I was like, man, let me sit. But then she was like, is you okay? Because I know so she can have jokes like she having
Mhm.
right now. But I was like, nah, I'm good on the roller coaster.
Right,
You know,
right.
something changed.
Where do we
You
go
know,
after
where
that?
I don't even feel that no more because I don't know if it's because I didn't got bigger and there's more blood shaking around in my body. I don't know what it is. I know it don't feel like it used to feel on there because the
That is
ride was
hilarious.
good.
Yeah,
I mean, I
right.
wasn't scared of the ride. Like, ooh. It's just once I got off, my body felt
Right.
like
He was-
something was over there and something
Right.
was over there. It just
Right.
wasn't.
And it
feeling
is,
good.
we're getting older.
Yes.
We can't handle some of the things we
Very
could handle
true.
20, 30 years
Very
ago.
true. You ain't got to tell me.
So when
Very
he said
true.
that, I was playing with him and joking, but I understood. I
Yeah,
think
just
we
like me
reached
driving it like it was hot at Tarsha's wedding, and I had a knee problem for 4 months. So my knee was all jacked up.
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I won't be doing
Mm.
that no more.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, so what are you and Keith's love language?
Our love language, I think, would be touch as well. Like if he's sitting on the couch and I'm sitting on the couch, he'll reach over and touch my hand, or he'll reach over and kiss me on the forehead. And like even when we were in the car coming back from Tedra's house last week, a song came on and he reached over and grabbed my hand and held
Aw.
my hand while we were in the car. So, yeah, and then when we like to give each other these little pecks all the time. So every time you look up, he's like, give me, like some old man, give me some sugar.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, and then I don't know, we kind of just like to hang.
Yeah.
We're like each other's just friends.
That's how we are.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
we enjoy each other's company. Come on, babe, let's go to the movies, or let's go to breakfast this morning, or let's go bowling, or whatever. It's like we actually enjoy each other's company, and we definitely understand the value of date nights. Date nights
Oh,
are important.
yeah.
And that's
You
I
got to
was gonna
keep
say-
dating
Go
each
ahead.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we started that, because her work schedule, my work schedule, and stuff, sometimes you just get to going, you don't really do nothing.
Right.
Because you're tired, you've
Yes.
been working all week, you've been doing this and that. So we scribbled in the calendar the first of the month, we'll
Yeah.
do something together. And
Yes.
at least 2 times a month,
Exactly.
we're going to have a date night.
Yes.
And then when it's my date night, I do what I want to. And it's her date night, she
Yes.
do whatever she wants
So we
to
do
do.
it
Yeah.
every
so
2 weeks.
Oh,
every
good.
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Good.
And we've been doing this for some years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we started
Okay.
that. And it was a good thing.
Yeah.
Because you were going, haven't did nothing. Like, dang, we ain't did nothing.
Yeah.
Other than going on a trip here and there. What about through the month? Sitting there watching TV or
Right.
going here doing stuff for other people.
Yeah.
And that's when we really have to do it because, I mean, both of our occupations is dealing with people
Yes.
and communities and
Yes.
things like that.
And which can kind of burn you out, and it's like,
Oh.
oh, you're tired, but yeah, you got to find that extra energy.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that didn't help us in a lot of ways inside the house because now, even with the house, on the outside house, you assess everything.
Yes.
And it just becomes a habit.
Okay.
Because you don't just judge somebody what they going through.
Yeah.
You have to assess that situation.
Right.
And so you start looking on okay, well, maybe they parents or maybe this. Maybe they was hugged too much or not enough as a child. And you're not just so quick to judge them
Yes.
on face value.
Absolutely.
So at the same token, as we learn in each other, we know each other, but as we learn each other in certain situations, because there's certain paranoias that I might feel a certain kind of way, but I don't want to rub the paranoia off on her for me being in the street.
Yeah.
So I might not say nothing to her because
Right.
every time I look at something and something don't look right, I don't want to be like, look, watch that. I don't want to be like
Yeah.
that. So I don't want to put that paranoia on her.
Right.
Same thing. If she got a problem with something and, don't want to say it and start going back and forth. So that goes with all your surroundings and everything else.
Gotcha.
Because,
gotcha.
Just coming from where I came from, you got to watch
Yeah.
everything moving.
Of course.
Basically.
Of course.
And so I don't want to be like this on her and have her a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching. I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
How has it been for the two of you since you've both been married before, and so now you're this blended family? How has that been?
It's wonderful. We are blessed.
Wow.
Blessed. My stepdaughter, his only child, she's 33.
Okay.
And she has 4 kids.
Okay.
5, 6, 12, and 15.
Okay.
she know the ages better.
He
than
never
me.
knows the ages either. And when I tell you,
That's a man thing.
yes, we're inseparable.
Okay.
And then I had the 3 kids, 27, 23, and 19, and 2 grandkids.
Okay.
So if we were when we're all together, you could not tell that we are a blended family. I was just like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I didn't want. Well, that was one of my deal breakers. I didn't want to date someone who had a lot of kids.
Okay.
Or little kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That was
definitely see the little
that
kids.
was my deal breaker. And it was just, God just sent me somebody that already had just one child, one grown child. I was like, thank you,
if
Jesus.
I had little kids and babies on
It
the
wasn't
way, you
more.
still would have married.
Oh, no.
Oh,
It was a few deal breakers. It was a few deal breakers.
Okay.
Cigarettes.
The cigarettes was a deal breaker.
Well, I guess with me, when it comes to that, relationships for a step, this, step, that, I was in that type of situation.
Okay.
And so I'm real cautious about how I deal with that right
Okay.
there. Because feeling like you are the stepchild
Yes.
in a situation, that makes you feel bad. So I would never try to put that on the kids.
Right.
Feeling like the stepchild, I'm going to treat you the same.
Right.
Even when my stepdaughter was in the house together, treat them as one.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, this is mine, this is yours. Even making
Right.
that comment, because you don't realize how damaging that is to the kids.
Absolutely.
And I have to talk to my daughter sometimes about that, even though they all are biological, but then you might get to talking. Ooh, I'm just care about these kids and this one right here, this and that. I got 2 to work. Okay, now how the other 2 feeling
Right.
when you're saying that right there?
Right.
So, I mean, words can hurt.
Yes, they
And,
can.
And he walked.
like
He walked 2 of his stepdaughters down the aisle. How many years ago? 4 years
Or
ago.
longer than
And
that.
this was from a previous relationship 20 plus years ago.
Wow.
But they still look at him as their father.
Okay.
And I really couldn't understand that at first. And then, I appreciated it, but it was like, if your father is still living and still around and it's time for you to walk down the aisle, why you didn't have, him do it. I wasn't, like, upset about it, but at first I didn't see it.
Okay.
But, it's like more or less, they was like he wasn't pretty much there, and I was.
Yeah.
And, it's like when one daughter did and the other one was like,
He walked 2 of his stepdaughters
ready
down
to,
the aisle.
you ready to walk
4 years ago?
you ready to walk
And this
another
was
one of
from
your
a
daughters down the
previous
aisle?
relationship 20
And I
plus
said,
years ago.
yeah,
But they still look at
like
him
that.
as,
So I
and she's on
appreciate it.
Facebook with us.
And I
We're
really couldn't
close.
understand that.
And you had touched on something when you said children when they weren't hugged enough when they were kids. And I had wanted to kind of piggyback on that with love tanks. So we all have
Okay.
what's called love tanks.
Okay.
And we all get them when we're little.
Okay.
And it's who feels them. We're supposed to get filled with love from our parents.
Yes.
So if you take that into adulthood and you
Okay.
didn't get that, what are you going to give to somebody
Right.
else?
Right. Right.
And in a marriage,
And are
also
you
have it.
always kind of looking for somebody to fill
Always,
that? Gotcha.
always.
Okay.
And even in a marriage, when that love tank is empty, it's
Gotcha.
like oil.
I
You
can't hear
can't.
you on that.
Oh, you can't hear? Oh,
I can't
I
hear
hear you. I hear.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's like oil and gas. Your car
Okay.
is not going to drive without it.
Yes.
Your motor is just going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this love tank is. It
Got
has
it.
to stay full
Wow.
in order for your marriage to succeed.
Wow.
And when it's not full, it's for each other. It's our responsibility to fill it back up.
Wow. Okay. That's good. I like that. The love tank.
The love tank.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it makes me now reflect back on me, because you think about, parenting skills and things like that. And I had my daughter basically when I was real young.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still out there a little bit. So when I see some of her ways, I see her temper, what I used to have.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it and so it's like, how am I going to deal
Yeah.
with this right here? Because I'm seeing a part of this that I'm no longer doing.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I let my daughter know that she got to stop that?
Right.
You can't push this to the grandkids.
Yes.
You can't push it because times and change, you
Mhm.
know, and it's
Very
not
true.
no promise you're going to be here.
Right.
But with all that right there and knowing, but like I say, her and my wife, Jamie, they have a good relationship.
wife.
Excellent.
You
I
said her and
said-
my wife.
My wife,
Oh,
Jamie. Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry, I
sitting
thought
here. Thank you. I just put your
Yeah,
name
we
on
have
top
a
of
great-
it.
Yeah, we have a great relationship.
Yeah, we're going to fight
Yeah,
on the radio
yeah.
station. Yeah. I just thought I put my name. Because now if I would have said wife and didn't say Jamie, then she would have said, why you didn't say Jamie when you
Oh.
said wife? That could have been somebody else. But anyway.
So there
that's
are
her.
some things, you know, I see, and I don't say it in front of our daughter. I
Okay.
say it to him like, this was your chance to say this,
Right.
or do this, or
Yeah.
do that, and it's parenting skills.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, she didn't get that set of
Right,
parenting skills from
right,
either parent.
Right.
So she
right.
too herself.
And
so
it's not too late.
Yeah.
It's not too
Yeah,
late.
she learned. Because, I mean, for like taking care of the kids,
Mhm.
clothing them, I mean, they dress better than we do. I mean, all
Yeah.
that right there,
Mhm.
nice, clean house. But then when it comes to what you say and how you deal with certain situations, you can't go street
Yeah.
on
because
the kids.
kids don't look at that
You know,
material
exactly.
stuff. They
Right.
look at the love. They gotta
Yes, they
feel
do.
that love.
Yes, they do.
You can buy them all the what's the brand? What's that $150 jean? Oh my goodness, it's gonna bug me.
You gonna
I
get
don't
it.
know.
True Religion.
Oh, I was about to
You
say,
can
'cause
buy
I
all
get
the
my
True
jeans from
Religion-
Ross, so I don't
me
know.
too. Me too. Dee Dee's.
Oh,
So you can buy all the True Religion, all the Jordans. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's materialistic
Yes,
stuff.
but
they
where's
want
the
you.
love? They want
Yes,
you.
They want you.
Yeah.
They want that time.
Yeah.
They want you to sit at that table and do
Mhm.
homework with them.
Yeah.
Not
They
did you
want
do your
you,
homework.
if they
well, let
play
me see
sports,
that homework.
they want you
They
at those
want you at-
games.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I remember
But
them
see,
days.
one
Oh,
thing
yeah.
about it, she's not closed-minded. She invites us in, you know,
Mhm.
and she'll say, I need the help. That's why I'm reaching out.
Yeah.
So then when
Mm-hmm.
I come back with the help, and I tell her all the time, because with my wife,
Mhm.
Jamie, I did on purpose.
You guys are funny.
You know, she have a lot of them clinical terms.
Yes.
Like I know streetwise how to do discipline, but then
Mhm.
when you have to look at them, okay, what they going through? Why
Right.
are you acting like this?
Right.
So you start digging a little bit deeper.
Mhm.
Because I had one of my grandsons, and he was just kind of off the hook. So after they kind of checked him out and what he was kind of going through,
Mhm.
I knew how to deal with him a little bit different.
Okay.
But I started understanding it now. It can't just go hard. There's some other stuff going on.
Right.
And so when I start dealing with him like that, we have a better
Mhm.
relationship.
Wow.
You're not going to be disrespectful.
Exactly.
But I'm still going to check you about what you did.
Mhm.
But, you know, I can't go on you the same way
Yeah.
that I was at first.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to deal with it different. And,
Exactly.
that's been working out.
Mhm.
You know?
And we go to the schools with our daughter. And as soon as something happens, she'll call us. It's your daughter. I need you
Aw.
guys to come to school with us.
Aw.
Yeah, your problem kid.
Your
She'll say
problem
something
kid.
like
This is your problem child.
Aw.
We say her and AJ is a problem child, but they're not.
Yeah.
and I'm glad she invited us in because she
Yeah.
still has a temper.
Wow.
And see, I still can, if we sit there, I still can
We go,
isolate her,
Okay.
you know, just kick
Mhm.
back because they automatically going to say, oh, this is where they got it from,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then talk. And then once she get in a better place, she still can say what she's saying. You know,
Right.
we read.
Yeah,
That's
because
fair.
we went to this last conference 2 weeks ago, and for some reason they took us to another room.
Mhm.
Me being a therapist, I'm very familiar with the room. I said, before we got inside the room, I said, you guys don't say nothing out the way.
Yeah.
Don't, because there's cameras. Something was up with that room while
Okay.
we were going to that specific room.
Okay.
And we got inside. What was it? We saw the television. We saw a monitor. And we played. And so they were trying to suspend our grandson.
Okay.
So they were saying that he didn't say this, he didn't say that. And they only had a report from one teacher or two teachers?
It was two.
Two teachers. So while they're talking, I got the glasses on and I'm reading everything.
Mhm.
I'm reading it. He's reading it. So then I said, oh, such and such says she didn't say what? Well, it's right here. She said it in
Mhm.
her own words, her
Mhm.
own admittance.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we tore them apart in that because because our daughter would have gone in there a little different.
Okay.
She wasn't going to read the paper.
course,
She
of
was just going to
course.
talk.
Uh-huh.
Well, now you got these grandparents in there reading this paper.
Mhm.
And now because I said, well, what's the policy and procedure for this?
Mhm.
The principal looked at us. I don't know.
What do
Wow.
do?
You don't
I
know.
don't know. You,
I said-
aren't you the principal?
Right. I said, well, what is your de-escalating protocol? We don't have one.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Was it? And when
We
I,
were tearing them apart.
and we said before we went in
Wow.
there, we said, what we going to do because they're going to try to protect each other. let us read this real good, and we're going to tear them apart with what they wrote.
Okay.
We're not going to even say what he said, she said.
Right.
We're just reading what you wrote.
Wow.
And we let them know,
Yeah.
I know my grandson is bad. His mouth worse than mine when I did used to curse.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't have
Yeah,
to
you don't have to tell me
reiterate
that. Yeah,
part right
exactly.
here. We're going to go with this right here.
Right.
And then one thing I want to say with my daughter, because when we pulled up, the lady who wrote the report, she had told her one thing when she was at the house. When she got to the school, the report was different than what she had told my daughter.
Wow.
Because my daughter, if she know they doing wrong, she will check them. And so when she pulled up, she happened to see the lady walking in the school and said, I think you need to come on up in here and talk. I said, you don't need to be, you at a school, you can't be doing stuff like that. Because that could have been like put off as a threat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You need to come on up in
absolutely.
here, pull it up on the side of it like that. Then we pulling up at the same time. I don't know what we're going to do. And that lady went to the back and never did come from back there.
Wow.
She had some other duties. So I'm just saying them kind of things that you really have to watch.
What would the best advice you guys would give to anybody either thinking about getting married or who is newly married?
Definitely do some background stuff. No, and I say that not in a mean way, but sometimes you just don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes people don't reveal themselves until you are married.
right.
Yeah.
If it's children involved,
Yes.
how is that previous mom? You know, is it little kids?
Yeah.
Does all the kids see each other? If it's different parents, different dads, you know,
Exactly.
what's the norm?
Right.
I would, and that was why I had a deal breaker. I didn't want to date anyone who already had little kids.
Yeah.
That I couldn't have handled that.
That's
because
too much.
I was
that's
coming
a lot of
in,
drama.
Right. I was coming in with one kid's father.
Mm-hmm.
We co-parent.
Yes.
It's sometimes, and they have a great relationship. It's sometimes if Andre can't catch me, he calls him.
Okay.
If it's dealing with one of our kids.
Okay.
So you definitely want to see, you know, what that parent's mind frame is all
Right.
about. Like, because you're going to be dealing with this person.
Exactly.
And that's why, you know, when you do look at stuff like that, you have to really, and that's why I guess the older people, when they say we just courting, and that was they famous word, we just courting,
Okay.
because that really gives you a chance to really know and learn that person.
Yes.
Because I say it all the time, when a person meets somebody, you don't meet that person, you meet the representative.
Of
Oh,
course.
yes.
And some representatives
Yes,
works
say
a little
it,
bit
say it.
longer than others. But now we together for 6 months, a year.
I agree. Yes.
It's not like somebody think, oh, you must have somebody
The
else. You
onion
must not
starts
be sure.
to peel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you start seeing that right there,
Yes.
because it could be a thing as small as crunching ice. That irritate me, crunching. It don't, but I'm just saying something
Right.
like that.
Right.
But us just going out and dating here and there, I didn't know you crunched ice.
Right.
Now we living together, you crunching ice all in the middle of the night.
Right,
smacking
right.
gum. And that irritates me.
Right.
So
Right.
now you've been doing that for all your life. I can't change that about you.
Exactly.
And so that's why you have to do them things right there. So I would say with that, you know, the question you asked, don't just jump in there.
Right.
You know, really
Take your time and get to know the person.
take your time and really
Yeah.
get to know them, what
Don't be in a
likes,
rush.
dislikes, you know. And a lot of times people feel like they're in love and you might be in lust. It's a difference between in lust and in love. Okay, well, let that be known. I just want to
Because
hang
if
out with
something
you.
happens where you can't, you know, get you lusting on, then what? That's where the rubber meets the road.
Exactly. I don't want to take you home to meet mama or nothing, but just a little
Yeah.
lust. Then, you know what I'm saying, don't make the lust change in the love.
Right.
And a
And
lot of
that's in
times
this
you
book.
have people that's open
Yeah.
and said that from the beginning. I'm really not ready to settle down, but now one of the other parties and fell in love.
Right.
And now you talking about them bad, but that person was
What's
kinda
the name
straight
of
up
that
with you.
book, sis?
So this is by Dr. Gary Chapman.
Okay.
The 5 Love Languages. And because you just said something, according to him, you're only in love 2 years after marriage.
Wow.
So when you get married, that in love stage is only for 2 years. And we were talking about this a couple of days ago. Do we agree with that?
No.
Because he said
I
he could be in love with me for 20 years. Now, I know me and I love
No.
me, but I'm a handful.
no, but see, when she said put a number on it, because
I just asked
said,
him.
you know, to the end
Yeah.
of time, to
Yeah.
infinity, because you don't
In
feel
love,
that right
not
there.
that you love the person, because we
You know
can
what I mean?
love forever.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean in
Okay,
love, you know,
okay.
and that was just about feeling on. But then she said, no, put a number on. So that's why I said 20 years, because said put a number. But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't see the part where it switch up and do, because
Yeah.
something is wrong to me.
Okay.
If it starts switching up and we
Yeah.
still not in love, it was just 2 years and now it's something else. Okay, well, what's the problem? We need to deal with that
Well,
then.
What's going on
That's what
here?
he said in that
Because
book, so
he's
I didn't
saying
agree with that.
Things
Right.
start happening after that second year, like the onion peeling.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
the representative is already out in year 2. So now they can't hide.
Yeah.
But see, I think,
So-
oh, go ahead, babe.
Go ahead.
But see, I think with the spiritual part of it, you know what I'm saying? When you look at that and let that be your referee, other than what Sally Sue said,
Yes.
then
That's excellent.
you can
Yes.
kind of get into that right there. 'Cause that's
Always
one of the things-
refer back to the Bible, refer back to what God says. Yeah.
Exactly. And we said that
That's
at the
true.
beginning, too. We was going to let the Bible
Be our
be the
referee.
referee.
Absolutely.
So we have a situation that, okay, let's go to the Bible and
He
see what
takes
they
it to
say.
the extreme. If we're in a little heated debate, this is what this man will do. He'll pick up the Bible and he'll fan it. And you know, I used to be afraid of it. Like, oh, we got the Bible. I ain't gonna say X, Y, and Z. But now I'm like, don't be doing that because I can't speak. You know, he'll pick it up. He did it a couple days ago. We weren't even arguing. He just did. Actually, you picked up the Quran. I think because he go back and forth from the Quran to
but
the
see,
Bible,
what it
King
do,
James.
it puts me in a better place when I do that right there because we start getting upset because I know me.
Right.
And the thing is, and the thing is, I do not like getting upset when you had a past like mine and getting upset. So I don't like to touch it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be humble.
Right.
You know, in everything I do. Not
Yeah.
saying I don't never get upset, but I know to get back humble if I'm feeling a certain kind of way. The Bible or the Quran put me back in that place.
Gotcha.
Whatever the situation. We still can talk about the situation. I'm not running from that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna that and be in a better place versus throwing stuff back and forth. I don't do no name calling. I don't do stuff like that. You know, I humble myself all the way down with it.
Okay.
You know, it even get to the point sometimes you say, dang, okay, am I humbling myself too much with this compromise? You know what I'm saying? So then you have to bring the balance up. You know, with I'm just saying I start questioning myself about stuff because, like I say, the life that I live and now doing this right here, even though coming into this, I knew I had to be open-minded. I had to be compromising. So I understood all that part right there. So I reflect back on that right there. You know what I'm saying? That's my wife now. Okay, before I would have did it like this, but okay, for the sake of argument or whatever, I might be looking at this way because I'm so used to being by myself. Or whatever the reason is.
Oh, no,
so I do
was
that
a
on
hard-
reasoning.
I'm glad you brought that up because he was single for over 20 years. So dating was hard.
Okay.
That was hard.
Especially when I told her
What?
I didn't want to be her. I thought you was
He thought I was the CIA, FBI.
Oh,
whatever.
Lord Jesus.
Because I worked for the mayor's office and he did too.
Okay.
So, you know, when we start kind of liking each other, he was like, what you want with me? Like, nobody like her, a therapist, going to be trying to date me. So he was putting himself down because I saw in his
I thought they
heart.
had planted somebody up under me.
Lord.
He
Because
was
I knew
like,
the
you
word.
may be the
Bro.
CIA. I was like, really?
And it's not like I was doing nothing illegal, but I mean the kind of work I do, whether it
I
be
get it.
Malcolm X,
No, I get
Martin
it.
Luther King, how they come with the
Yes.
attacks to try
Yes.
to tear you down, even though you're just trying to help the community. So I was wondering if that was one of the ones they was trying to drop in
Gotcha.
between there. And she was really upset about that too. It just messed her day and week up.
Whatever. So I
guys
do
are-
want to bring up
Okay,
two
go ahead.
important dates. We
Okay.
have two tentative dates for our first marriage retreat.
Okay.
And we're only inviting 10 couples only because I want it to be more intimate, not so big. And what we're going to bring to the table is different. It's never been done before. And I've learned not to tell so much because people mimic.
Okay.
So I'll give more information as
Just
we get.
when's the date?
It's going to be August 16th through the 18th
Okay.
or September 6th through the 8th.
Okay.
And I'm working with the hotels to try to get the best deal.
Excellent.
And
The picnic.
picnic. Go ahead.
Wildlife Car Club will be having a community picnic. That'll be March 10th.
Okay.
On 103rd and Central, and we will see Keith and Tasha there.
I know we're going to
We'll
see
be
Keith.
driving-
I don't know
We're
about
going to see
Tasha.
Tasha too.
But Keith, I know how to bring her out because I need vendors. I want vendors out. So I want you to
Lord
put
Jesus.
I want you to put Still I Rise booth out there.
Oh, okay.
free food,
Free
gang
food.
truck,
Yeah.
Okay, sis.
everything, community.
So Keith, you got it. We're going to have you a t-shirt made, right?
And I enjoy this conversation so much that I will have to put together a part 3 because there's two things I want to add to marriage. I want to talk about this B. Smith situation and we don't have time today. So of him moving in a mistress while he takes care of his wife with Alzheimer's.
I know.
So that's one thing I want to talk about. And it was actually
Okay.
something else I wanted to talk about.
We had stuff
that's
on here
that's
that we
related to
didn't-
marriage. So we're gonna have to do a part 3. So y'all let me know what's another Thursday. Maybe next Thursday might be too soon, but tell me another Thursday you guys can come back.
You know, I think we're pretty open on Thursday because we actually
Okay.
wanted
Well,
to talk about.
you want to come back
When-
next Thursday?
When can we let you know?
You can let me know anytime. You can come back next Thursday or Thursday after next. But
No, I'm
I
saying
want to
like
do a part
between-
3.
I'm saying like between
'Cause we
tonight
left
and
some
tomorrow,
stuff
just to
out.
make sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We left
Because
some
I
stuff out.
and I want to talk about because from somebody who went through an illness. So the B. Smith, and I want to talk about spouses who leave their their other spouse because they're sick. So I have a lot of women in these breast cancer groups I'm in where their husbands have left them because they have breast cancer. So I want to talk about that, and definitely want to talk about this B. Smith thing because I think homeboy's foul. I don't care if he is taking care of her. You could wait to at least don't bring the woman into your house. So I want to talk about that. So
That's a hard one.
So y'all let me
'Cause I have
know,
mixed
and I'm gonna make
feelings
Keith
with
come in here so we can all four of us
He
can
was
get
just
on this
asking me
conversation.
Yeah, I said we should be
earlier.
in here together.
Yeah,
I did
I'm gonna
say
drag
that.
Keith in for that one. But I thank everybody for listening, and remember that our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Still I rise, still we rise. Till the next time. Good night.
Still I rise, no matter what may come my way. Not built to break, I stand strong each and every day.
You're listening to Still I Rise Tea Party with Tarsha T. Rogers, only on LA Talk Radio.